Okay, so
Hey, everybody. If you're joining us, the stream crashed because my Wi-Fi went down for some reason. Um,
okay.
oh
Is
no.
everything okay on your end?
Uh, okay, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, I just.
Your internet is not doing good today.
Uh, yeah, tell me about it. Okay,
Okay,
is there a? Do you have a second link?
do I have a second mic?
No, a link. Ooh,
Yeah, I've posted it on the community tab.
okay, cool. Hey everybody. Sorry that we lost. Sorry that we lost you. My Wi-Fi went down suddenly. Not my fault, I swear. Um, and we're back. We should be back at the very least. And it's just classic, right? As we're about to win this space battle, the Wi-Fi goes down and the stream ends.
Oh, it's very much us. But yeah, Ole, thank you for being here. If you could just let everyone else know and everything. I've posted in the community tab the link. So everyone should be aware. Hopefully they'll all start coming back in a moment. Mana Burnt is here
Hey,
as well.
hey guys. Again, really sorry about that. I don't know what happened. The Wi-Fi just crashed. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if you've been a viewer of this channel, you know that happens sometimes.
True. True. So yeah, it's just my perfect timing that as we were about to win this space battle, the, the Wi-Fi crashes. I was talking to myself for like a solid couple of minutes about the space strategy and like Star Wars lore. And I had no idea that.
I was asking you about the peanut butter question that you posed, and you just weren't responding. I was like, "What's going on?" Oh, by the way, you want might ease up on your Wi-Fi a little bit.
Yes.
Is you don't have to stream this the game to Discord because of the extra low latency. I can just watch it on YouTube with everyone else.
Ah, okay, that might help. That might help. Okay, yeah. So, what were you saying about the peanut butter?
Oh, people were asking if it's in addition to the peanut butter and jelly, or if it's like replacing one of the elements.
It's in addition.
Okay, so yeah, in addition to peanut butter and jelly, would you have gummy worms or olives? I think Melipona said gummy worms, which is wild. Let me just make sure that people see.
See, chat, I did it. We fought a space battle, I killed Yonda Donna, all of this stuff, I only lost two little useless corvettes.
Okay. We currently have 3 people watching. I'm just gonna comment on the previous stream. New stream link. And then post the thing. And then people on the old video will be able to see, like, hey, this is where the new stream is.
Okay. So, that's all.
But why do you say gummy worms? Because you say obviously. It's not, though.
Yeah, I wouldn't say that it's obvious.
I also wouldn't say that olives is obvious or an option. I guess it depends. Yeah, but the thing is, they are sweet and PBJs are sweet, Melipona, but you're not thinking about texture.
Republic
Like,
is about.
Olives are briny, which means that they are also salty, and peanut butter is technically salty. And salty and sweet go very well together. Think about salted caramel.
Son of a gun. The Republic invaded one of our planets. I've routed a defense force, our only defense force, to go and meet them in battle.
Nice. Peanut butter is not salty necessarily. Well, sometimes it is. It's made of peanuts. It depends on the peanut butter.
Okay, who is this? Admiral Screed.
Melipona, I am deeply worried about your intestines if you're eating a spoonful of peanut butter every day.
This guy, Admiral Screed, apparently was sent to deal with us, with Duolingo. Well, he's about to meet a Trade Federation Lucre Hulk battle cruiser.
That is a wild ship design.
This is for those of you who remember the movies, this is the ship that attacks Naboo with the Trade Federation. Damn it, they're running.
But
Target their engines.
whose idea was it we need a design for the cockpit of the ship? I know. How about a clitoris?
Well, this thing is massive, right? It doesn't really do the size of it correctly, but this thing is kilometers wide in terms of how big it is.
Just make the cockpit just make it a circle. Just why does it have to have a thing inside of the circle that looks so desperately like a nipple?
Oh, we caught the Republic ground forces. This will be good. And they sent a big force. I'm going to try and wipe out as many of them as I can.
Oh, cool. So I was thinking about this today. The word clitoris sounds like a wizard that only performs small spells.
Okay. Like what? What counts as a small spell?
I don't know, Leomund's tiny hut. Which is a really cool spell from D&D, by the way.
Okay.
Whoa, what is going on?
I accidentally clicked the top of the screen. Sorry about that. Again, I have to play this game in windowed mode. So.
Okay, also, just all of the animosity between Melipona and my, shall we say, abrasive opinions about peanut butter has been deleted because they replied with Klitsy Bitsy Sorcerer. And you can never be mad. That's a phrase that's impossible to be mad at. It's unlawful. It is un-American. Like us. They run again.
Yeah, they ran away. Cowards!
Oh, Ole says, either way, I did my own campaign of Galactic Conquest in Battlefront 2 last weekend. How did that go, Ole?
Nice!
Tell
Battlefront
me.
2 is a great one.
Explain yourself. Use your words, man.
Oh no. Oh, phew. Thought we were gonna have to fight a space battle over there. Alright.
It is weird talking to you about food sometimes, because you're a vegetarian.
Yes.
And a lot of my favorite dishes are quite meat-based.
Well, I mean, I'm a strong believer in, eat what you like. I don't think a person's personal consumption is, representative of anything. But I will say that I don't like fish, and I've never been a big fan of a lot of meat. So
I could live the rest of my life without eating lamb or pork.
really,
I like those two to a degree, but I don't have to consume them.
Mhm.
Beef would be a tough one. I would never be able to stop eating chicken and fish.
chicken and fish, really? 'Cause-
Yeah, white meat is the best. Well, not fish necessarily, but seafood.
Well, for me, I feel like it would almost be the other way around. If I had to eat any kind of meat, I would prefer to eat pork.
Oh, dude, I fucking love Warcraft. This map looks like every starting map in Warcraft.
I love Warcraft too. I've been watching a lot of Warcraft Let's Plays, actually.
We should absolutely stream Warcraft.
Can you anymore? I don't know if you can, actually.
Why can't we? Is it like a licensing thing?
Yeah, because
Will we get sued?
No, because they changed it so that all the Warcraft versions are now Warcraft Reforged. So if you want to play actual classic Warcraft, I don't think you can.
I'm sure there's a way.
There might
There
be.
has to be a way to get classic old school Frozen Throne.
Yeah, because I don't know, because I've been watching campaigns from years ago, and they're not played on the new version of the game, and I assume that's because Blizzard are a shitty company.
Melipona says, "Oh, it's illegal to play Warcraft online." It might be. We joke. It might be. Blizzard is run by crazy people.
They're run by greedy people. That's
Blizzard Activision.
yeah. They don't deserve their proper hyphenation.
They don't deserve for us to recognize their pronouns.
Well, I think that's a little different.
No, their pronouns are Blizzard Activision.
Cursed
The
artillery
two
piece.
genders. Ole says that they played as the Republic, used lots of fleets to prioritize space battles. I rarely enjoyed the space battles in Battlefront 2. I
Yeah.
have to say. They did a good job.
They're quite a... It really, like, have you played Star Wars Squadrons?
I have not, but I've heard it's good.
Well, Star Wars Squadrons, I feel like, scratches an itch that people have about, like, playing a space game. Because you're, like, really into that, you know? For some reason, you like playing space games where you're not, like, having a high-level strategic overview. You're commanding, like... God damn it, Republic clone troopers.
You know what, Melipona? I would actually really love to play Dragon Age Origins. I had it on my PlayStation 3 for a while, and I never got that into it. I got really into Dragon Age 2.
I have the I have the deluxe version. So if we ever wanted to do a stream of it, we could.
Yeah, let's do it,
But
because...
it's quite a beefy game.
Oh, we can skip a lot of the side stuff. We'll do a review style of like mostly critical path.
It's still quite a beefy game, but I think I would be down for something like that. Mostly just because it's a game that I haven't like fully played, you know?
Yeah, I never... people keep talking to me about it. They keep being like, it's so good, and I've never finished it. I've gotten to the spooky castle with like the possessed child in it. And I never played beyond that.
I was really into Knights of the Old Republic. So, like, for me, the quintessential BioWare experience is Knights of the Old Republic and not, say, for example...
Dragon Age.
Dragon Age. And that's just because of, like, number one, I like Star Wars a lot. Number two, I never really felt like Dragon Age was all that interesting. I'm sure, like, there's more to it. But I never quite like got hooked into it, you know, if that makes
It's
sense.
very kind of generic fantasy,
You know,
in a lot of ways. But if you get into the details, it's interesting.
Yeah, it's like a lot of fantasy, which is like that, you know, if you get into the details, like I'm pretty sure
Broad strokes are the same.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Thetis, the name of the place, was actually called because it's like the Dragon Age realm or something. Like the name of the actual setting was just a placeholder, like a shorthand.
First of all, hi, Comrade Sad. Welcome to the stream.
God
It's really good to see you again.
damn it, the Republic, the CIS tanks suck.
Really?
I just lost like a tank. I was fighting like a skiff, and this stupid Republic tank with its shield took me out. I have to send this thing back for repairs.
Yeah, I feel like we should be able to hack their vehicles. So we're like cousins.
Well, you know, there we go. We'll take that point, and I'll bring down more reinforcements.
Knights of the Old Republic is amazing. Like I said last stream, the second game is my favorite Star War.
Oh yeah.
Ole, I would actually be up for playing Knights of the Old Republic as well, because I never finished that one. I got to where you pick your Jedi class.
I like Knights of the Old Republic so much, I actually played the entire thing on my tablet.
Oh, you're a crazy person.
Yeah, I like.
You're a crazy person.
I like replayed it on my tablet. That's how much I like the game. So I would be down to play like a full playthrough of Knights of the Old Republic.
Weirdly, in total contention to the... before we get too far away from it, in total contention with the entire Dragon Age community, Mana Burnt, I only rarely ever got into Dragon Age 2. And everyone hates that one. But they hate it for a specific reason. They hate it because they reuse the levels a lot.
I feel like that's a very Callum like move, you know? Like,
It's just like... You know why it's great?
why?
Dragon Age 1 is about defeating the like evil horde and saving the world.
Yes.
Dragon Age 2 is about a bunch of refugees going to the city that's supposed to be a safe haven and then saving that city. mostly from like gangs and stuff. It barely has. There is like one section of the game that has anything to do with the Grey Wardens. And that's so much more interesting to me. I don't care about saving the world. That's too big. Let me save something on a smaller scale that I actually care about. I do agree that they could have used like a bit more variety in the level design.
Yeah, I think the problem is that like Dragon Age 1 was such a I feel like a lot of people just really got into Dragon Age 1, and so forever after, no matter what, Dragon Age 1 was going to be the benchmark by which the series would be judged. And I don't know if that's like necessarily fair, because like with The Witcher, everyone knows Witcher 3. Barely anyone has played the first Witcher game, you know?
Oh, I've played it a bit. It's not good.
Yeah.
It's bad. Witcher 2 is awful.
Yeah, so it's like...
You got really quiet there. Do you disagree with me?
No. I was just trying to concentrate landing the artillery barrage, because I hate to say this, but the Republic are kind of fighting us off.
Yeah, but we knew this. They're better at us than fighting.
No, we're better in space, but yeah, they are better in ground.
Melipona, what do you mean by it meets a lot of different game types? Because that's an interesting comment I've never heard about Dragon Age Origins before. And I disagree, Manaburnt. The first two Witcher games do not have charm. They are boring in every sense. Didn't they also recently migrate The Witcher to a better engine too? I don't know. Do you know if they've remade the games, Emilio, and like migrated them to a better engine?
I heard there were plans for making a remake. I don't know if they've actually gone through with it.
But the problem was never the engine, though. The problem was it sucked to play. The gameplay was bad, and the story was not interesting.
Yeah, I think...
They might not have done it yet. But again, that's not really going to solve the problem that those games had, which is that they weren't fun to play. Because you had to... it was one of those things where you have to select your mode. Like, you can't just attack something. You have to right-click them and make sure you're in quick attack mode. And then you're using the correct sword. And that you've gone through the necessary correspondence course to make potions. And it's just like, there's so much... It's such a PC game. It's such a, like, computer-based game that it's so complicated and stupid and not fun.
Yeah, I can see that. I think one of the issues is that it comes from an era of game design when, like... Because, like, you know how a lot of people give JRPGs a pass? Because for a time, they were the only games that were, like, doing story. We have 33 platoons of B1 battle droids. We have so many.
And apparently we need each and every single one of them because these Republic people fight like they're dying
Yeah,
today.
it's like 5-6 guys will like wipe out like a whole platoon of guys. It's just insane. Yeah, so you know how people give JRPGs a pass because it doesn't matter if like the turn-based menu combat is rubbish. This game has a fun story. Well, I feel like a lot of people are like that with that early era of like RPG design.
Cat, say something. I'm not putting you down until you do. You can squirm, cat. I'm not gonna put you. Fuck. Fine.
Your cat meowed when you were off camera.
It is the. He meows, and I'm like, no one could have possibly heard that. So I'll bring him up to the mic because people love cats, and then he just like stares at it because he knows that he's making me look like a fool.
Well, that's how cats are. In all my experience of dealing with cats, they are like a million times just like that.
Yeah, he is camera shy. He's an old man. He doesn't need to perform for anyone anymore.
How old is your cat?
My cat is 14 years old.
Wow, he's old.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah, he's like 77 in cat years or something. Emilio, cat years are the wildest thing in the world. Have you heard how you measure them?
No.
The first year of a cat's life is something like 9 years for a human, and then like the next year is 8 years, and then it goes down to 7, and it just stays 7.
What?
It is so strange, because that's how they mature. I had
that's
to
so
look
weird.
it up one day.
I've
It's
never heard
the
of that.
wildest shit.
Okay, I know. Okay, so I know very little about pets. People who know the deep lore of Emilio will know that
The deep lore of Emilio.
I am allergic to dogs, and I don't exactly have the best track record when it comes to cats either. I'm good with lizards, right? Like, you know, I'm always like, you know, helping out the lizards and stuff. But you know, generally speaking, I don't have the best record. Really? Are you serious? These mall cops are destroying our base. God damn it.
Paul Blart Space Cop.
Okay, yeah, I would watch Paul Blart if they put him in Star Wars.
You would not. His movies are terrible.
Yeah, but I would watch it ironically, I think.
First of all, hello, Potato Man. Welcome to the stream. Second of all, Melipona, I do love the idea that Emilio is the Lizard King, because our unofficial title, the unofficial name of our fan base is the Rat Empire. I think because of Tales of Iron.
I think it's because of Tales of Iron, yeah.
Yeah, and the idea that we are ruled by a Lizard King
But we're the Rat Empire.
is wonderful to
That's
me.
some delicious irony.
Dude, there's this cat in my neighborhood that like always walks across my windowsill.
Yes.
And he is here every single time I stream. He was here yesterday when I was streaming with Miles. He was here like last week when we were streaming. He is always there, and he makes the noise that like his normal meow is the sound my cat makes when it's distressed, and I have to imagine he's doing that on purpose.
Cats are always smarter than you think they are, but always dumber than you expect.
I was thinking about this the other day. Before I get to what I was thinking about, so you would be a friend of Bosk, truly a lizard pal. Do you know what Bosk is?
Yeah, Bosk is the Trandoshan mercenary that he's the bounty hunter that fails to capture Han Solo alongside a bunch of other like IG-88. What's his name? Fisk? No.
Boba Fett.
Yeah, well, there's Boba Fett. There are a bunch of others. Dengar. Yeah. So, like,
Man, we should have made that Star Wars podcast. You know so much about this world.
for a very long time, Star Wars was my life. In a sort of real sense. It was like the thing that I was completely just 100% into. But then I discovered Warhammer, and that has been my life ever since.
So tragically sad.
You think I know a lot about Star Wars? I know infinitely more about Warhammer than I do about Star Wars, and I know a lot about Star Wars. So
I believe you. For a while, my favorite franchise in the world was Assassin's Creed.
Really? Assassin's Creed?
Yeah.
So, okay, but I can kind of see that. For like a while, you know, when I was in high school, there was like this really like a jock guy. Like, you know, he was in the swimming team and all of that stuff. He was like a mega jock. But one day I was talking to him because I think we were outside of class, and I heard that he was talking about Assassin's Creed of all things. And for whatever reason, we just started talking about Assassin's Creed. And I found out that he was like really into those games, and yeah, you know, it was a different time back then. People could just be into stuff. And
Yeah. But Assassin's Creed was such a great game for me because my favorite type of character is the kind of like sneaky character.
Mhm.
And I love history.
Yes.
So being able to be a historical figure or like someone who can go through history but sneak around and do all this cool like covert stuff, that was such a great idea to me. And I loved the idea that was actually the memory of some dude in the future. That ruled. And then they shot themselves in the foot like 100 million times by continuing to make this series.
I've never been a big fan of the whole it's a genetic memory thing. I would have preferred a more straightforward. It's just we're just playing as Ezio or whatever, you know. But I do agree that there is a certain charm to the early games that the later games don't necessarily have, and I do agree they should have stopped making the series. Like,
I think that the Animus. Whoa, Emilio, you gotta stop hitting the top of that screen, dude.
God damn it.
You've turned this into Warcraft. This is just the aspect ratio of Warcraft.
Oh no!
Dude, what?
The game crashed.
Okay, so I'm gonna. I will talk about Assassin's Creed while you get the game rebooted. I think the Assassin's Creed game that did the Animus the best was Unity, where it's kind of like Abstergo started making video games around Assassin's Creed 4, and they're using Animus footage to try and like thought police Templar propaganda.
Yeah.
Into everybody. Assassin's Creed Unity, the Animus storyline is that your Animus gets hacked by the assassins, and they're showing you the truth, but you never actually leave the Animus.
Mm-hmm.
So you're always there. You just occasionally get like a message from actually the two people from Assassin's Creed like 2 to Revelations, Rebecca and Sean. They message you and they're like, "Hey, we hacked your Animus. Go and sort this stuff out. There's a glitch," and you just go and do that. I think that was the best way to do it.
I definitely think that's better. Certainly, I think that's better. I don't.
Ponderosa Dworkin. What's up?
I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know where the game. I don't know if this game has autosaves. So we're about to find out if all that progress I made against the Republic positions on the ground is for nothing, or
about to enter the final frontier,
or I, potentially will get lucky and we'll have a quick save.
Let's see.
I'm gonna.
Let's
no.
do this.
Wait.
Oh, Melipona. Sorry, Ole. You better frickin' believe they're still using the Animus.
You know what? Screw it. I'm just gonna auto-resolve. There we go.
I never played Assassin's Creed Odyssey or Assassin's Creed Valhalla because I value my income, but Assassin's Creed Origins, which I did play a bit of, and I'm trying to finish at the moment, uses the Animus like you would not believe. They just keep bringing new future people in. Dude, I don't know. Mana, I don't know what they're trying to do with Assassin's Creed now. Why are you... It's the stupid open world concept of, like, you should be able to approach a mission in any way. No! You should have to stealth. No one in the recent Assassin's Creed games has been an actual assassin.
Mm-hmm.
It's wild. Like, Emilio, if you play Origins, Odyssey, and Valhalla... The game makes a point of telling you that either the Assassin's Order isn't around yet, or you're just not a part of it.
Mm-hmm.
They pull an Edward Kenway with Valhalla by giving, like, I think his name is Orvar or Ivar or something.
Ivar, yeah.
They give him a hidden blade and be like, "Hey, do you want this?"
Why was the person who was giving him the hidden blade Australian for a second?
Because I don't know what their accent was, but it's just like, "Hey, do you want this this spooky knife? You can stab a lot of British people with it." And then he just takes it. And he just has an assassin. He's just an assassin now, I guess, kind of.
Yeah,
but doesn't. He's not.
Yeah, it makes no sense, really, realistically speaking. They really should have just ended the game.
Whoa, Potato Man! When did they kill Sean? The first 3 games had a main character and a plot, but they killed Sean, so they shot their... Are you talking about Desmond? Because he's the main character. Sean is the British one who's sarcastic. Desmond is the one that has all the genetic memories and looks like Adam Sandler.
Looks like Adam Sandler.
Yeah, haven't you seen Desmond in Assassin's Creed Revelations? He looks so much like Adam Sandler.
I have not. Okay, so we conquered 2 planets. That's great. We did space battles. Right now, the army that we've got is kind of busted. We have 93 credits in the bank. Great, we got more money. That's nice. I'm just gonna build a bunch of super battle droids. And...
The thing is...
Oh, lordy.
So, okay, that's interesting.
That's...
Melipona, what do you mean by the existentialist theme of Assassin's Creed 1? Because I can kind of get what you're saying there, but I'd love for you to let me know. And, dude, like... Something I hate about the most recent Assassin's Creed games is that they take place in slightly more ancient history, you know? Don't fucking sigh at me while I'm talking about it.
The Republic counterattacked. We're losing planets.
Oh.
I've gotta stabilize the situation. I took 2 planets, they just took one of ours.
I'm sorry, honey, I'm not sighing about you talking about Assassin's Creed again. I'm sighing about the intergalactic war I'm fighting.
And a little bit losing, but it's okay. I will figure something out. But yeah, please continue.
So the recent Assassin's Creed games is they take place in slightly more ancient history.
Yes.
Which is, first of all, kind of bad for the mere sake of, like, there's not as many tall buildings.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the architecture is just like the peak in my mind. Assassin's Creed architecture is like Napoleonic France.
Yeah.
Gothic cathedrals.
The buildings are super tall, very, very, what's the word? Like, textured, I guess. There's plenty of ways to climb up them.
There's lots of things to walk around, you know?
Yeah, there's lots of hay piles. And it's like, the further back history goes, the less we have of those. I understand that you don't want to move history forward. That was the problem with Assassin's Creed 3, because history gets a lot more political as you move forward, and a lot less about, like, fighting each other. But the problem with very ancient history is that the Assassin and the Templar Order were already super ancient.
Mm-hmm.
By the time the, like, first games were around. They were already supposedly very old. And now they're not old enough, because you went with Origins, which is the start of the Assassin Order, and you're going further back in time than when Origins was, so you have to, like, come up with even older orders, which is the hidden ones and the something else, and it's like, you are muddying your own lore.
Yeah, the canon is getting super messed up.
Yeah. Also, nothing is true, everything is permitted isn't really existentialism, I don't think.
No, I don't think so. I think it's like, that's an epistemological position. I don't think that's like a moral position.
Well, even if it's a moral position, it's supposed to be like morality is gray.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not, though. That's also not what the assassins believe in.
Yeah.
That's something they say. They believe in freedom. And that's such a difficult position for them to defend, because they never actually tell you what they specifically believe in when it comes to freedom.
Well, I think one of the reasons for that is because Ubisoft has this whole "our games are not political" thing, which is beta behavior, in my opinion. Yeah, Ubisoft always insists like their games are not political. There's not supposed to be a political message that you're supposed to take away from their games. I'm like, what? What are you talking about? Of course this game is political. It's like the most political thing I've ever heard of my entire life. The reason they do this is probably because they're trying to commit to this idea of like neutral presentation of history, and I don't agree that that's what they're doing. And I also don't agree that like that's per se a good thing. I think it's
or possible, really.
Yeah.
Because history, the only way we know history is from what people say of it, and there's very literally the winners write the history books.
Not always.
Most of the time. We consider Rome to be a fantastic empire, right?
Yeah, but so like a great example of like when the winners don't necessarily write history is like all the Nazi revisionism that happened.
Okay, but I think that saying mostly refers to like older history.
Oh yeah, yeah,
You
yeah.
know,
We look favorably on the Mongols, for example, even though they were pretty heinous.
yeah, they used to catapult people's heads into cities to scare them into giving up quicker.
Yeah, and they brutalized enough people to actually cause like a noticeable change in the CO2 emissions of the planet.
They conquered the Silk Road. That is the entire trading route from like Europe to Eurasia. Ponderosa Dworkin says, "What, are you crazy? They believe in the creed." That's the thing, though. The creed is nothing is true, everything is permitted. They don't. That's not. The assassins have so many rules, so many things that are not permitted, and there are things that are true. The thing is, that's a very cool thing to like say. It's very quotable. It doesn't mean anything, though. Because what do you mean nothing is true? That means this creed isn't true.
Yeah.
And what do you mean everything is permitted? I literally got desynchronized for killing a civilian. That means it's not permitted?
Oh yeah, he's got you there.
In the first game, Altair does something that's not allowed and gets punished for it. So therefore, not everything is permitted.
He would have been a fun assassin, Callum.
Everyone would be sick of me in a week. Manaman says there's no such thing as a neutral point, and LOL can think what they want, but they are political if they are representing politics, which they totally do all the time. Every Far Cry game is political.
One of my favorite things about how Ubisoft is committed to like a politicality is that they almost like make it seem that the Vikings colonizing England is a good thing, right? Like the way that they present the case of the Vikings is that they make the Anglo-Saxons to be essentially the worst, like the bad guys. When if you know the history, you know that the Vikings are the ones who are invading the land and like,
like neither of them are good.
Yeah, you can't like point. Sure, the Anglo-Saxons have committed, crimes and stuff like that, but it's not like they're completely evil. They're not the bad guys. It's just a complicated historical conflict between groups of people who have mutual interlocking interests and competing interests, right? Like
yeah,
the game
apparently. Sorry.
Yeah, no, go ahead.
Potato Man has said Ubisoft trying their hardest not to humiliate their own company, only to do it anyway. And then they continue to say Ezio literally explains what the creed means in Brotherhood. Fair enough. Like, I could be wrong. It's never happened before, but first time for everything. If you know what Ezio's explanation was, I'm sure it's very like ideological and stuff. It just feels like there's no consistent sort of through line for the creed. The creed feels very much like when Tyrion says in season 6 of Game of Thrones, "I drink and I know things."
Yeah.
And then proceeds to do neither of those for the rest of the show.
Yeah.
Melopona says, "Lol, OMG, I am trouncing your argument out loud, but I can't type a response fast enough." And in brackets, "I have no N key either. I'm dying." You have put so many words with the letter N in that response. How are you typing it? Do you... Because I know the key is just like pressed down on a button inside the keyboard. Are you like physically pressing that button down or something?
They're probably copying and pasting.
Oh, but how do you... Are you using like your like a keyboard on your screen or something and then copy pasting it?
No, there are other ends that you can pick up in the chat, I'm sure.
Oh, that's rough. That's a rough one. Since November. Damn. Damn. You can't type that because it has an N in it. But yeah, so it's keyboard issue, truly skill issue. We need to get you a new keyboard, definitely. Guys, speaking of fundraisers, we're doing a fundraiser for Turkey. If you go in the comments, you can find a link to that. If you donate to it, you get limited patron access for a while. You get to do a good thing. All you have to do is they give you a little letter when you donate to them. Send that to us on our Discord or on the company email on our channel, and we'll give you that limited patron access. We're also going to have to start a new fundraiser to get Melipona Plays a new keyboard. Because this is ridiculous.
Yeah. I'm sure Callum would prefer to defeat your argument in a fair arena and not have to rely on basically winning by default. Because
I'm even so, like, I'm not going to win this argument. Probably not. I got kind of mad, and that was my first mistake. But yeah, I've talked a lot about why I don't like the more recent Assassin's Creeds, because a leveling system inherently makes the open world feel less open, because you have to divide up the world into leveled sections, which means it may as well just be linear.
The worst example I can think of is in The Division, where like The Division is supposed to be like a hardcore, like serious military game, and then you're like mag dumping into a guy because he's like 10 levels above you. So even though you're shooting him in the head, and realistically speaking, no one can survive like 10 bullets to the head, here is a guy who's consistently just like surviving when he should be dying.
The Division has so many problems, dude. Damn.
It's not a. It's it's very. It's problematic.
It was awful. It was one of the most boring games I've ever played in my entire life.
Oh my word! Look at that. That is a butcher's bow.
Hell yeah, what a butcher's bill?
We lost almost that entire army. Oh god. But
we took out a lot of those.
Yeah, we took out a lot of the Republic, but we lost that entire army. My word.
I was about to say, and we must be able to reconstitute our armies much quicker because they're just robots, but the Republic armies are clones.
Yeah, it's one of those situations where it's like, should we be able to like outcompete them? Because technically they're supposed to be like billions of battle droids, but realistically you never see that.
Yeah. So yeah, recent Assassin's Creed games I don't like. It feels like they've deviated from what made Assassin's Creed, which is stealth missions and history. And like they kept the history, but now the stealth doesn't matter. There's no point in specializing in anything in Assassin's Creed because you have to use it all anyway. You eventually just become a god, and gods don't need to stealth.
Yeah.
I've heard the next one that they're making is going to be very stealthy. Like, it looks like it's going to be very stealth-focused. Apparently, they're paying homage to the original Assassin's Creed game. And it's like, if it's your game, I don't know if you can pay homage to that. And that's so cocky, yo. Just make the game.
Yeah.
You don't have to justify it. You're going to do it anyway.
That is something that does annoy me about, like, a lot of studios like Ubisoft. It's like, they act like they're doing us a favor, you know? It's like, no, you're the people who own the IP. You make the games. Don't make them rubbish, and we'll play them, you know? Like,
it's like when Wizards of the Coast posted that new OGL, and then they had that massive outcry against it, and they were like, people are going to say about this day that we lost and you all won, and they're wrong about that. All of us won. And it's like, fuck you. You lost. Don't try and, like, scramble over to our side when it looks like yours isn't gonna work out.
Yeah, it's really, it's just, and, like, the worst thing about it coming from Ubisoft particularly is that, like, it's like, they're a terrible company. That, you know, they covered up so much abuse for so many years. It's like, come on, guys, we know what the actual score is. You don't really care about anything. You know, you're here to maximize your profits. Just don't just drop the pretense. You know, I kind of just wish that more companies would just drop the pretense and be not, you know, just be honest. You know, you don't really care about, like, your art, because if you cared about your artistic, like, creativity and stuff like that, you wouldn't have kept shoehorning you would have allowed like an actual female assassin to have a place in the story.
That wasn't on a PSP game.
Yeah, or adding.
You wouldn't keep putting like a ship in every game because we really liked it in Assassin's Creed 4.
Yeah, exactly. It bothers me a lot, and also I don't like the Division.
Yeah, but like it's one of those things of like you can see some things in each of the Assassin's Creed games that make you think, there is clearly someone here who really cares about this series.
Yeah. Look, I don't want to bash the
Yet.
creators of like a lot of these games because a lot of these developers are very talented.
It's just that the executives see like open worlds are in, RPG elements are in. The Witcher was very popular, so we're just going to do all of that, and we'll guarantee to make our money back.
Yeah, games are super for reasons that are entirely on the executives of the games industry. Games cost a lot of money to develop, so
Yeah,
they
also
can't take any risks.
Melopona Plays says, I will say this, Callum, your read on the Creed clearly outs you as a Templar. In response to that, assassins are people who stab fellas and see what happens. Templars invented modern medicine. So, you know. You got real quiet there, Emilio. Did your internet die again?
No, sorry, I was just trying to focus on the battle. I think
Oh,
we
I
basically.
think they did.
I think
I
we
don't know.
basically
Every
won
time
now.
we find a Templar, they tend to be like doctors
I do
and
like
public
I
servants.
do like the Templar more than I like the Assassins, even though they're the bad guys.
The
like-
assassins are dickhead weirdos who sit in temples and it's like, fuck the world. We'll kill a leader every now and again, but we're not gonna like tell them anything.
Yeah. I mean, they're not. Both of them are bad sides, but at least the Templars have cooler armor. That's all I'm gonna
I mean,
say.
also like, neither of them are good, right?
No.
They're both like terrible. It's so deeply upsetting that the two things controlling the world are very incompetent. But like the Templars do genuinely seem to help people more.
Yeah.
The assassins like kill a dude and then leave.
Yeah, they cause a bunch of chaos, and then that's like our work
And
here
they
is done.
And it's like riots happen, and it's like we started a riot after killing the president. Cool. Let's go to a different city.
Yeah,
We can fuck this one up.
yeah, they're not. So the thing about them is they're more interested in disrupting a social order than they are in building one. So invariably, that means look, we wiped them out. Nice, good battle.
Sick.
Invariably, they're more interested in like, just causing chaos than they are in like actually, what's it? Than they are in like building something, and because of that, and like the Templars are interested in building something, they will always seem like a little bit more reasonable, if that makes sense.
Melopona, we cannot return to Klitsy Bitsy Sorcerer. You opened this can of beans. We're just eating it.
Yeah.
Emilio, I need you to react after I say something insane, so it doesn't sound like I've said something insane, please.
Sorry, Callum. Again, this game, I'm just thinking, okay, we gotta do this, and then I was like, okay, well, because I'm thinking I'll react when the thing loads, and I always get the timing incorrect.
Oh, you're not our enemies or anything. We just... The assassins are bad. I will say that one of my favorite Assassin's Creed games was Rogue,
Mine too, definitely.
where
mine
you
too.
get to be a Templar.
I think Shay is the most. I think Shay is a more interesting character than like most of the other assassins, and I think Rogue is a much better game than many of the other ones. Plus, it's a underrated historical setting, which is like the 7 Years' War up in like the north part of the United States, which I think is really cool.
Also, he's Irish, and those are my people.
And he's Irish, yeah, and he has a cool air gun, which
He has an air gun?
yeah, the gun
I
that
never got that far.
the gun that Shay has is technically speaking an air rifle, which is somehow able to kill people. I guess there were air rifles like
They have weak bones back then.
Well, I mean, there were actually experiments in the Napoleonic period with trying to make air rifles for like elite rifleman companies and stuff. They're really cool. I've always thought about trying to buy like a replica, but they're so expensive. of like this musket air rifle thing. Very cool idea, but very expensive.
Ole says, I've been enjoying the works of Sir Arthur Conan Doyle recently, which is... I always found that a weird phrase, personally, because did he make anything other than Sherlock Holmes?
He wrote a couple of other stories, but Holmes is his most famous work, I would say.
It always just sort of struck me as weird that people would say that rather than, like, I've been reading Sherlock Holmes or something, you know? It feels...
I think it's got to do with, like, it's maybe a little bit more prestigious to say, like, hey, I've been reading...
He was also apparently a medical doctor?
Yeah, he was. He actually, no joke, went to actual court and did, like, legal defense stuff for clients. A couple of legal cases would like, oh yeah, I'm using deductive reasoning, and it's because of these reasons that this guy didn't do this murder or whatever.
Apparently, he did. Maliburn says that he did a lot of weird seance stuff, and Ponderosa Dworkin says, "I have a Doyle book, A History of Western Occultism," and that's really cool. Hell yeah, Arthur Conan Doyle. This is now an Arthur Conan Doyle appreciation chat.
Yeah.
A real debate on does Count Dooku lightsaber make sense? Oh, Potato Man wants to know if Count Dooku's lightsaber makes sense. And I mean, I guess
yeah,
so.
I mean, technically speaking, Dooku's lightsaber is based on a fencing foil. So out of all of the lightsabers to exist, it's probably the one that is the most actual.
Well, the other lightsabers are like katanas.
Yeah, they're a lot more like katanas. And we have a food shortage.
We have a food... What?
Yes.
How? We're robots.
Well, we have humans that, like... Well, not humans, but we have, like,
But the majority of our forces don't eat.
Okay,
let's go and capture some food real quick.
We have to build a farm.
Oh.
And
of
we don't
course.
Okay, I'm gonna build a farm and like a factory far behind the supply lines. That's gonna take a while because it says here that because we have food shortages, there are increased prices and more production costs, basically.
Then let's build some farms. Yeah, no, the chat's talking about how Western society loved seance stuff for a while, like ghosts and things. Yeah, I wonder why.
Well, I think, one major thing about, like, bits of the West is that, like, periodically there's a crisis of meaning. And in the Industrial Revolution in the 19th century, there was, like, a huge crisis of meaning. And I guess a lot of people were looking to alternative forms of social thought for, like, a sense of what to do. And a lot of people got into, like, a lot of it was driven by racism/Orientalism, where it's like, oh, maybe we in the West, with our modern technology and stuff like that, we don't know, what like life's meaning is about, but these Orientals sure do. There was a huge revival of, like, basically ideas about culture and stuff coming from, the East, and exposure with places like Japan and India. Yeah, there are lots of stories about, like, people going to Japan. Like, the weeb culture, that as we understand it, is very, very old.
Weeb culture.
People being like, these Japanese, they have life figured out. They're not corrupt like us decadent Westerners.
Which is wild because Confucius was Chinese.
No.
He was the one saying, like, oh no, not Confucius, Lao Tzu was Chinese, and he was very into the whole, like, live modestly, a bowl is most useful when it is empty, all that stuff. But I get what you mean. It's kind of wild. It probably wouldn't have been from Japan, though. Weren't they closed at that point in history?
Well, depending on when you're talking about, yeah, they were open. Like, after the 1860s, there was a huge Japanophile craze. But also India especially, because India was the colonial possession of... Shoot the engines?
England.
Of England, and they were, like, super interested in monopolizing that control. lots of Indian stuff became like vogue to possess, including of course ideas about philosophy and things. So yeah, you know.
Okay, before we continue, Ole asked an interesting question. What lightsabers would y'all want to use? Their answer is a lightsaber pike.
Either something like a crossguard lightsaber, or
Like what?
Kylo Ren had.
Yeah, I like those ones. I have to say.
I just like the idea of having some hand protection.
I think I would probably just go for a regular lightsaber. Although I do love the idea of Cal Kestis's one.
Oh yeah, the one that can split, right?
Yeah, but the thing is, I don't think I would be very good at dual wielding. I would like a lightsaber, maybe just like a double-bladed lightsaber that I could turn one of the blades on, independent of the other one.
I see. Well, you can't actually do that with double-bladed lightsabers.
Yeah, because I think I'd like that, because that means I could use it with one hand, but I could also use it with two.
Mm-hmm.
And then I could use it as a staff. That would probably be my lightsaber of choice.
Yeah. I would like either a double-bladed, well, either one with a nice on the battle, either one with a crossguard or something like a pike. But I am kind of partial to dual wielding. I actually know how to dual wield lightsabers.
He really does. He's kicked my ass before.
So, because I can dual wield, I'm a little bit more partial to it. I think it's really fun, personally. But you know, it is what it is. And we need to get more money because we are, for some reason, running out of money in this trade empire of ours. Why is our development bonus going down?
We're not very good at trade. We've started a lot of wars. Who are we trading with? But anyway.
Ourselves?
Yes. We're a quote-unquote trade empire. Oh, hey, Melipona just joined the Discord. Welcome to the Discord, Melipona. Wave. Yeah, it's the robot. The robot is the best one. Robots are the best. Okay, Potato Man. In the future, when we're monetized, you'll be able to donate, and then I will be forced to read these out loud, but I'm going to give you a freebie for this one. How is it possible that the separatists are running out of potatoes for the war effort? That was Palpatine telling
That was really good. That was really good, Gallum.
That is equally my Palpatine, somewhat my Skeletor, and somewhat my Starscream.
It's funny how there's so much overlap between all of those.
Because it's a scheming Vizier voice.
Yeah, again, that's funny because the Emperor is technically not the Vizier.
Well, he is the scheming Vizier for a long time, isn't he? Because I guess if you consider the rest of the Senate the Emperor.
Yeah, he's the Chancellor. He's not the Vizier. He's like the guy in charge.
It's oh God. I'm trying to think of something. Oh, it also works well for Wormtongue from Lord of the Rings.
Yeah,
it's like, my king, Gandalf the Grey approaches. He is an ill omen and not to be trusted.
Why did anybody trust a guy named Wormtongue? I will never know.
I don't know if his name's actually Wormtongue. I think it's like a nickname.
Oh, okay.
It's just like something, because I don't think anyone refers to him by a name before then.
I see. Well, Tolkien experts in the chat, you can correct me if I'm mistaken.
I love it when they change up like
Yes.
Gummy Wormtongue. When they change up like a character's nicknames, because like they call him Gandalf Greyhelm at one point, and that's rad.
That's like a Warcraft name if there ever was one. You know, Gandalf Greyhelm, Paladin of
Thoradin Spine Cracker, chiropractor of Orgrimmar.
Oh no.
Yeah, his first name is Grima, but I don't think Wormtongue is probably not his surname. It's probably like an epithet that they give him after finding out that he betrays Thoradin. Not Thoradin, sorry.
Thorin.
Is it Thorin? Thorin's from The Hobbit.
No, yeah, no, you're right. Thorin is from The Hobbit.
It's like Tharamin or
Theoden.
something like that. Tharamin. It's Tharamin. If you stand by him and you like Wave your hands. He makes a noise. Yeah, no, lots of people in Lord of the Rings have surnames besides the hobbits, don't they?
Yeah, this is the, for those of you who don't know, this is the Republic version of General Grievous. He was a guy who was basically had his body blown up by a thermal detonator, and they made him a cyborg.
Moff Tractor.
Moff Tractor. Yeah. My totally real Star Wars name, Moff Tractor. Well, Moff is technically...
This is Moff Tractor. He's my OC. Please don't steal.
Technically, that is his title.
Oh, dude, Star Wars names are the silliest shit. There's one of my favorite, like, Jedi, design-wise, has the worst name ever. His name is literally a slur.
Oh. Oh, shoot. Damn.
Yeah, it's the one that starts with C and goes OON.
C-O... Oh. Okay. Okay, yeah. Well, that's... Wait, are you talking about Plo Koon?
Yeah. His surname is a slur, Emilio.
Well... it's meant to be pronounced as...
His name is Plo.
It's one name, technically, actually. It's hyphenated. Because it's like Plocon, I think it is. That's how you're supposed to pronounce it sometimes. I've seen it pronounced like that. It's a...
Dude, I... Just, like, watch... He's in, like, the 4th episode of Clone Wars. And so many Republic soldiers just say master and then that word. And I'm just like, you can't. You can't be making humans say this for your television show that plays to children, please. Also, guys, please don't hold back on being nerds. History it up. Get deep into the paint on that nerd shit. Like, that is why we started this channel.
Yeah, because...
Manaburn says the surnames are actually patronyms rather than surnames.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, Newt Gunray, we need more profits, but like...
No, his name is what?
This is Viceroy Newt Gunray, who is the head of the... he's the head of the Trade Federation.
And you know, his brother, Jeremy Swordblade.
Golan 2 star platform that he wanted. Okay, Mr. Newt Gunray, I will build you your Golan 2 platforms, but you better cough up the MTTTs. The MTTs, there we go. That's what it's called.
Wait, what does that say? Petroglyph?
Terroglyph, that's the company that that makes this game.
Oh, I briefly read it as Fetralife, and I was like, but we don't need to find a Dark Souls build. Ole says Newt Gunray was derived from Newt Gingrich, and I don't think so, because Newt Gunray is respectable.
Technically, Newt Gunray is the guy who's like, surely this battle is not going to take a close, here, this is too close, and then the battle takes... He's like, in every, like, instance of Star Wars, he always says something, and he's just, like, blatantly wrong.
So he's a goofus.
He is a bit, he is a bit of a goofus, yeah.
But, like, Newt Gringotts isn't... That Melipona said that one. Newt Gringotts isn't, like, better. Or, I don't know. I'm just saying things, man. We've been doing this for a while. It's almost 8.
Yeah, I think we, Newt
Goofus. Goober Goofuson.
Fuck. Okay, I'm gonna reroute that force that way.
While you do that, I'm going to reroute our chat to our various social media links. Seamless segue.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna...
Twitter and an Instagram. They're both bad. No one uses those sites anymore. We have a Discord. Use that one. That's where we announce things. We have a YouTube channel. Presumably, you know that. We have a subreddit, I think.
I'm going to retreat from this battle, and then we're probably going to end the stream because we're outmatched. This is a picket force, and that is an actual Republic fleet.
We have a Patreon as well. You can give us money and then get lots of videos. We have a lot of things on the Patreon.
Yeah, we have quite a selection, a back catalog.
I like looked at it the other day. I'm gonna just look up our Patreon real quick because the titles of the videos are posted, even though the videos themselves are not. Like, because we have House of the Dragon episode a week early, or not a week early, but early. Context in gaming, that people we think there was a behind the scenes on that one.
Mm-hmm.
The turret sections bonus episode, best Far Cry villains, all of the hardly heroics are up there.
Yeah.
Like, there's so much on the Patreon that you can get. You can either get that by subscribing to the Patreon or donating to the earthquake relief fund for Turkey.
Callum, do you want to quickly? Do you think we can kill Space General Grievous, or should we leave that till next time?
I think that's a good starting point for next time.
All right. I cannot save the game.
Things ain't looking good for them Georgia boys.
I'm just gonna fight this battle quickly, and then we're gonna end the stream. I can't save the game,
cool.
So Empire War is a bit weird like that. So
why do we have a biplane in space?
that is our troop carrier.
Newt Grievous. Melipona is a pun goddess. Is what I'm learning from this stream. Yeah, I already like plugged all of our content. I don't know what else to do.
Well, you can see if I can take out this Republic fleet. Hopefully our battle cruiser is technically much stronger than both of those two ships combined, but our real strength will be in fighters. So ideally we can send in some Y-Wings are coming to attack us. No, don't run away, you fools. Okay.
Some wildlings.
Let's see if I can shoot their engines. What I really need in this fleet, what the CIS really need, are some way of blocking hyperspace, because they can run away really effectively. And, but we shoot them off, so now we can end the stream.
Okay.
There we go.
Before we go, I have a question for you.
Yes.
A lot of people think that human fighters in D&D are boring. Do you think that?
No, I play human fighters all the time.
Yeah, I think they're super interesting because the best thing about humans in any fantasy setting is that they're immediately the most interesting people because they don't have inherent like
advantages,
benefits. Yeah. It's like playing an elf wizard in a fantasy world is like playing a human accountant in the real world.
Yeah, it's why would you shout out to all of our accountant subscribers.
Human accountants, you're the wizards of our world. Enjoy that.
So thanks everybody for joining us. Sorry that we
got weird.
Sorry that we had technical difficulties.
Yeah, Emilio is a human fighter.
I used to be, I used to play paladins, but then I decided I wasn't really a good paladin, so I just played human fighters, and I guess that's just me. Sorry again for the technical difficulties in the stream. Again, like the funny thing is, Caleb and I were prepared. We were ready to go
for like an hour beforehand, and then of course on that day, the universe has to intervene.
Yeah. So bye everybody. We hope you we hope you have a good one. Take care.
Bye bye.